Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, welcome and a thrilling happy Halloween to you all. This spooky evening, shrouded in the mystery of shadows and chilling whispers, is the perfect time to gather around, don't you think? So pull up a chair, cozy up under your blankets, and let the golden flickering light of our virtual campfire illuminate your imaginations. It's time to take a thrilling journey into the world of the extraordinary and the uncanny. Take a seat around our virtual campfire as we read you today's story, an eerie tale woven with the threads of fear, suspense, and perhaps a touch of the supernatural. Today's tale is called I Wasn't Invited to the Halloween Party, and Now They'll Pay. Prepare to immerse yourself in the haunting depths of this unique Halloween narrative. Let's begin. In the hushed and sleepy town of Hillsborough, 13-year-old Liam Bennett sat, overlooked and scorned, brooding in his room's shadowed corner. His gaze bore into the glistening Halloween party invitation that was not for him. His so-called friends were all going to Alex's party, all except him. But Liam decided it was time for them to pay. The next day, Liam hunted through his attic, the cobwebs like fingers brushing against his face, the air thick with the scent of old dust and secrets. He was looking for an old family heirloom, a book known to have powers that should not be wielded by mere mortals. The Book of Shadows, a generational testament of the Bennett sorcery lineage, had a particularly pertinent chapter on revenge spells. As Halloween approached, the sun set behind the hills, casting long, dark silhouettes across the town, while orange leaves crunched underfoot. The wind carried an undercurrent of crisp apple cider and pumpkin spice, mingled with the anticipation of the impending party. The Bennett house, standing isolated at the edge of town, bore no decorations, no signs of the festive cheer. Instead, it loomed in stark contrast to the town's jovial mood, a gloomy citadel amidst the vibrancy of autumnal colors. Within the house, Liam chanted, his voice low and resonant, adding a pulsating rhythm to the chilling drafts that swept through the house. The candles around him flickered erratically, casting eerie, dancing shadows on the room's decrepit walls. His hand, poised above the Book of Shadows, held a crimson quill that moved with a mind of its own, tracing a symbol on a piece of old parchment. Outside, the moon hung high in the cloudless sky, casting a spectral light upon the revelers who trickled into Alex's house. Laughter and music filled the air, punctuated by the occasional shriek of mock fright at garishly costumed partygoers. Meanwhile, in the Bennett house, a wave of energy burst from the parchment as Liam finished the spell. A sensation of elation swept over him, followed by an anticipation that chilled him to the bone. Back at the party, the revelers were growing more raucous, the house throbbing with their carefree laughter and the thrumming music. Suddenly, the laughter turned into gasps as the lights flickered and went out, plunging the house into darkness. A collective, uncertain murmur filled the room, mingling with the gust of wind that blew in through the suddenly opened windows, bringing with it the cold, earthy scent of the graveyard. One by one, the partygoers started to see their worst fears come to life. Alex, the jock, who never missed an opportunity to ridicule Liam, found himself being pursued by monstrous spiders, their glossy bodies crawling over him, their mandibles dripping with venom. Sarah, who once laughed when Liam fell in the cafeteria, stood frozen as the floor beneath her turned into a churning sea, her fear of water rendering her immobile. Each torment was tailored to the individual, each one of Liam's tormentors suffering in a way only they could comprehend. The house echoed with terrified screams and the frantic pleas for help. Back at the Bennett house, Liam could hear the distant screams. He had to close the loop to end the spell. He plunged the quill into his hand, the pain shooting through his body. His blood dropped onto the parchment, blurring the inscribed symbol. The Book of Shadows closed with a thud, and a sudden, eerie silence fell over the town. The partygoers found themselves back at Alex's house, the lights on, the music a distant echo. The spiders, the sea, all their fears were gone. They looked at each other, their faces pale, their bodies trembling. They understood the cost of their actions, the price they paid for excluding and humiliating Liam. The Halloween party ended, not with the echoes of laughter, but with a chilling silence. Liam, in his lonely house, looked out the window at the dawn breaking over Hillsborough, the first rays of sunlight dispelling the shadows of the horrific night. He felt no joy, no satisfaction, only the grim knowledge that he had wielded a power that was both a blessing and a curse. Hillsborough never forgot that Halloween night, and Liam was never overlooked again. Yet every time they looked at the Bennett house, they remembered the darkness, the terror that lurked in the hidden recesses of their minds, and the heavy price they paid for their ignorance and cruelty. They understood that everyone, no matter how insignificant they seem, holds within them a power that should not be underestimated or scorned. For when the overlooked decide to make their stand, even the bravest hearts might pay the price. Phew. What a frightful journey we've had tonight, my friends. As our virtual campfire begins to wane and the echoes of our story fade into the chilling Halloween night, I hope you've enjoyed the sinister twists and terrifying turns of I wasn't invited to the Halloween party, and now they'll pay. Before you retreat under your covers, I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Haunting Happenings. Your support helps keep our spooky tales alive and our virtual campfire burning bright. Don't forget to hit the bell icon too, so you'll be the first to know when we have another eerie tale to tell. We look forward to welcoming you back into the chilling embrace of our spooky tales soon. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your spirits high. Thank you for joining us on this haunting Halloween. Good night, brave souls, and remember, the most enchanting hour is always the darkest.